What if I told you that everything you think you know about investing is keeping you broke? What if the reason you're still living paycheck to paycheck, still stressed about money, still watching others build wealth while you stay stuck, isn't because you don't make enough money, but because nobody ever taught you the one principle that separates the wealthy from everyone else? Stay with me until the end of this video, because I'm about to reveal the exact investment strategy that could completely transform your financial future, and I promise you, by minute 15, everything will click, and you'll finally understand why some people retire at 40 while others work until they drop dead. Listen, I need you to understand something right now. The world is divided into two types of people: those who make money work for them, and those who work for money until their bodies give out. Which one are you? Be honest with yourself. Are you building wealth or are you just surviving? Because here's the brutal truth that nobody wants to tell you: if you're not investing, you're losing. Every single day you wait, every single month you tell yourself, "I'll start next year," you're literally watching your purchasing power evaporate. Inflation is eating your money alive while you sleep. The cost of everything is going up. Your rent, your groceries, your gas, everything costs more today than it did last year, and it'll cost even more next year. But your salary? Yeah, that's barely moving, if at all. So what's the solution? How do you break free from this trap? How do you stop being a slave to money and start making money your servant? That's exactly what we're diving into today. I'm going to walk you through 8 powerful investment strategies, from the safest to the most aggressive, and by the end of this video, you'll have a complete roadmap tailored to where you are right now in your financial journey. But here's the catch: you have to actually implement what I'm about to teach you. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. And if you're here just to feel good about learning something without doing anything about it, you might as well leave right now. But if you're serious, if you're ready to actually change your life, then let's get into it. The smartest way to invest your money depends on 3 critical factors: your goals, your time horizon, and your risk tolerance. But regardless of where you are, there's one core principle that never changes: make your money grow while protecting it from unnecessary risk. That's it. That's the secret. It sounds simple, but most people get this wrong. They either play it so safe that inflation destroys them, or they go full Deegan mode and gamble everything on some stupid meme coin that crashes 90% in a week. We're not doing either of those. We're building real, sustainable, generational wealth. So let's break this down step by step. Number 1, invest in yourself. This is the highest return on investment you will ever get in your entire life, and it's not even close. Before you put a single dollar into stocks, crypto, real estate, or anything else, you need to invest here first. In your skills. In your knowledge. In your ability to create income. Because here's what nobody tells you: you can't build wealth without cash flow. You can have all the investment knowledge in the world, but if you're broke, what are you investing? Nothing. You need money to invest, and you need skills to make money. It's that simple. Think about it. What if you spent the next 6 months learning a high-income skill like AI prompt engineering, video editing, copywriting, or web development? What if you built a YouTube channel, created a digital product, or launched an online brand? What if you took a course on understanding markets, taxes, and compound interest instead of binge-watching Netflix for the 100th time? Your life would completely transform. You'd go from making $40,000 or $50,000 a year to potentially 6 figures within 18 months. I've seen it happen over and over again. People who invest in themselves first always win. Always. Because skills create income, and income funds every other investment on this list. Let me share something personal with you. There was a time when I was working a dead-end job, barely scraping by, watching everyone around me seem to have it figured out while I was drowning in bills and anxiety. I kept thinking, if only I had more money to invest, then I could build wealth. But that's backwards thinking. The real question wasn't, how do I invest the money I don't have? It was, how do I increase my earning power so I have money to invest? Once I shifted my focus to learning valuable skills, everything changed. I started making more money. I had cash flow. And then, and only then, could I actually start building wealth through investing. So if you're sitting there thinking, I don't have money to invest, then start here. Learn a skill. Build something. Create value. Get paid. Then, and only then, move to the next step. And this is crucial, don't just learn random skills. Focus on high-income skills that are in demand right now. AI is exploding. Companies are desperate for people who understand how to leverage artificial intelligence. Video content is king. Businesses are throwing money at skilled video editors and content creators. Copywriting, the ability to write words that sell, has been valuable for decades and will continue to be. These aren't just skills, they're money-printing machines if you master them. And here's the beautiful part, most of these skills can be learned for free or very cheap. YouTube, free courses, books, online communities. The information is out there. The only thing standing between you and a high income is your willingness to put in the work. So invest in yourself first. That's number 1. And that brings us to number 2. Number 2, build your emergency fund first. This is non-negotiable. I don't care how excited you are about stocks or crypto or real estate. If you don't have 3 to 6 months of expenses saved in a high-interest savings account or money market fund, you're not ready to invest. Period. Why? Because life happens. Your car breaks down. You get laid off. You have a medical emergency. And if you don't have cash reserves, you know what you're going to do? You're going to panic and sell your investments at the worst possible time, locking in losses and destroying your financial future. I've seen this happen so many times it breaks my heart. Someone gets excited about investing. They put all their money into the market. Then 3 months later, their transmission goes out, and they need $3,000 immediately. They have no choice but to sell their investments, often at a loss, because they didn't build that foundation first. Or worse, the market crashes 20% right when they need the money, and now they're selling at the absolute bottom, crystallizing massive losses that could have been avoided if they just had an emergency fund. The emergency fund isn't sexy. It's not exciting. It doesn't make you feel like a genius investor. But it's the foundation that everything else is built on. It's your peace of mind. It's what allows you to stay calm when the market crashes 30% and everyone around you is freaking out. Because you know that no matter what happens, you're covered. You can weather the storm. You don't have to sell. And that's the difference between people who build wealth and people who stay broke. The wealthy think long-term. The broke react emotionally. Think of your emergency fund as your financial armor. It protects you from life's punches. And trust me, life will throw punches. The question is, will you be prepared or will you be knocked out? Build that emergency fund. Make it your priority. Start with $1,000 if that's all you can do, then push to 3 months of expenses, then 6 months. Every dollar you save is a dollar of freedom. Every dollar in that emergency fund is buying you the ability to make rational decisions instead of desperate ones. And once you have that safety net in place, once you can sleep peacefully knowing that an unexpected expense won't destroy you, now we can start talking about real wealth building. Which brings us to number 3. Number 3, index funds. If you only remember one thing from this entire video, let it be this. Index funds are the smartest investment for 95% of people watching this right now. They're low-cost, diversified, long-term wealth builders that require almost zero effort. I'm talking about the S&P 500 Index Fund, Total Stock Market Index Funds, Global Index Funds. These are collections of hundreds or thousands of companies bundled together, so when you buy one share of an index fund, you're essentially buying a piece of the entire economy. And here's why this is so powerful. Number 1, diversification. You're not betting on one company. You're betting on hundreds. So if one crashes, it barely affects you. If Tesla goes to zero tomorrow, and you own an S&P 500 index fund, it represents less than 2% of your holdings. You're protected by diversification. Number 2, low fees. Index funds typically charge less than 0.1% annually, while actively managed funds can charge 1 to 2% or more. That difference compounds over decades and can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Let me say that again, the difference between a 0.1% fee and a 1% fee can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars over 30 years. That's not a small thing. That's your retirement. Number 3, historically strong returns. The S&P 500 has returned an average of about 10% annually over the long term. Now, that doesn't mean every year is 10%. Some years it's up 30%. Some years it's down 20%. But over decades, it averages out to roughly 10%. That means if you invest consistently for 20 or 30 years, you're very likely to build serious wealth. Number 4, minimal effort. You don't have to pick stocks. You don't have to time the market. You don't have to stress about earnings reports or economic data or any of that noise. You just buy, hold, and let compound interest do its magic. Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time, one of the richest men in the world, has repeatedly said that most people should just invest in index funds and forget about it. He's literally made a bet that index funds would outperform hedge funds over a 10-year period, and he won. The professional money managers with their fancy degrees and algorithms couldn't beat a simple index fund. And you know what? He's right. Study after study shows that over 80% of actively managed funds underperform the market over the long term. So why are you trying to beat the market? Just match it. Just ride the wave of the entire economy growing over time. This should be the backbone of your portfolio. 50 to 60% of your investment money should go here. It's boring. It's simple. And it works. You're not going to have exciting stories to tell your friends about how you picked the next Amazon. But you know what you will have? You'll have wealth. Real, substantial, retire comfortably wealth. And isn't that better than exciting stories about how you lost everything on a stock tip? But what if you want passive income right now? Not just wealth 30 years from now? What if you want to feel the money flowing into your account every quarter? That's where number 4 comes in. Number 4, dividend-paying stocks. These are companies that literally pay you just for holding their stock. Every quarter, they send you cash. You can either spend that cash or reinvest it to buy more shares, which then pay you even more dividends, creating a beautiful compounding snowball effect. Companies like Johnson & Johnson, Coca-Cola, Procter & Gamble, these are dividend aristocrats that have paid and increased their dividends for decades. Through recessions, through market crashes, through world wars, these companies kept paying dividends. Here's why this is smart. First, passive income. You're getting paid while you sleep. Imagine waking up and seeing dividend payments in your account. It's a beautiful feeling. It's proof that your money is working for you. Second, reinvestment power. If you reinvest those dividends, your wealth compounds faster than it would with growth stocks alone. You're getting paid to hold the stock, and you're using that payment to buy more stock, which pays you more, which buys more stock. It's a flywheel. Third, stability. Dividend-paying companies tend to be more established and less volatile than speculative growth stocks. They're not going to 10x overnight, but they're also not going to crash to zero. This is perfect for people who want to build long-term income streams. Imagine having enough dividend income to cover your rent, your groceries, your car payment, all without selling a single share. That's financial freedom. That's what smart investors are building while everyone else is gambling on the latest hype stock. You could build a portfolio that pays you $5,000 a month in dividends. That's $60,000 a year in passive income. How would your life change if you had an extra $5,000 coming in every month without working for it? But if you really want to accelerate your wealth building, you need to think bigger. You need to think about assets that generate serious cash flow and appreciate over time. Which brings us to number 5. Number 5, real estate. This is one of the oldest wealth builders in human history, and for good reason. Real estate gives you 3 things: cash flow from rent, appreciation over time, and a hedge against inflation. When prices go up, so does your property value and your rental income. There are several ways to get into real estate. You can buy rental properties and become a landlord. You can invest in REITs, which are real estate investment trusts that let you own real estate without the hassle of being a landlord. Or you can buy land in developing areas and hold it for long-term appreciation. Let's talk about rental properties first. You buy a property, you rent it out, and ideally, the rent covers your mortgage, property taxes, insurance, and maintenance with some cash flow left over. Over time, your tenants pay off your mortgage while the property appreciates in value. It's a beautiful model. In 20 or 30 years, you own the property free and clear, and all that rent is pure profit. Plus, you've benefited from decades of appreciation. A property you bought for $200,000 might be worth $500,000 or more. But here's the reality check: real estate is not passive unless you do it right. Bad location? You lose money. Bad tenants? Your life becomes a nightmare. No cash reserves for repairs and vacancies? You could lose the property entirely. I've seen people get into real estate thinking it's easy money, and they get destroyed. They don't understand cash flow analysis. They don't account for vacancies. They don't budget for maintenance. And then reality hits them like a freight train. Real estate can be incredibly lucrative, but only if you understand location, cash flow analysis, property management, and market cycles. If you don't, you're just gambling with hundreds of thousands of dollars. So educate yourself. Read books like The Book on Rental Property Investing by Brandon Turner. Take courses. Talk to people who are successfully investing in real estate. Join real estate investment groups. Learn before you leap. And if you're not ready to buy property, if you don't have the capital or the knowledge yet, start with REITs. Real estate investment trusts let you invest in real estate with the click of a button. You get exposure to commercial properties, apartment complexes, office buildings, all without being a landlord. REITs are required by law to pay out 90% of their income as dividends, so you get great cash flow. Allocate 10 to 15% of your portfolio here once you're ready. But if you really want to control your financial destiny, if you want to build life-changing wealth on your own terms, if you want to create something that could potentially set your entire family free, then you need to consider number 6. Number 6, business ownership. Here's the truth that nobody wants to hear. The wealthiest people on earth didn't get rich from investing. They got rich from owning businesses. Jeff Bezos didn't become a billionaire by investing in index funds. He built Amazon. Elon Musk didn't become the richest man in the world by buying dividend stocks. He built Tesla and SpaceX. Mark Zuckerberg didn't get wealthy from real estate. He built Facebook. Every billionaire, every person with generational wealth, built or owned a business. Now, I'm not saying you need to build the next Amazon or Facebook. But I am saying that if you want to create generational wealth, if you want to break free from the limits of a salary, you need to build something. An online business. An e-commerce store. A service business. A YouTube channel. A digital product. Faceless content channels. Whatever it is, you need to own something that has the potential to scale beyond your time. Why is this so powerful? Because you control the growth. You're not waiting on the market to go up. You're not hoping your landlord pays rent on time. You're actively building value every single day. With a job, you trade time for money, and there's a limit to how much you can make. With investments, you're subject to market returns, which are historically around 10% annually. But with a business? The upside is unlimited. You could go from zero to $1 million a year if you build something that solves a real problem for people. But here's the catch: it's high risk. Most businesses fail. 80% of new businesses don't make it past 5 years. It requires time, discipline, patience, and the willingness to fail and get back up. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have moments where you want to quit. You're going to doubt yourself. But if you succeed, if you push through, the upside is unlimited. You could go from broke to millionaire in 5 years. That's the power of ownership. Look at the creator economy right now. People are building million-dollar businesses from their laptops. YouTube channels generating 6 figures a year. Digital products selling on autopilot. Online courses teaching skills. E-commerce stores drop shipping or selling private label products. The barriers to entry have never been lower. You don't need $1 million to start. You need an idea, some skills, and the willingness to figure it out as you go. So allocate 10 to 20% of your time and money to building something. Don't bet everything on it. Don't quit your job on day one. Keep investing in index funds. Keep building your other income streams. But give yourself a shot at something bigger. Start that side hustle. Launch that YouTube channel. Create that digital product. Because regret is far more painful than failure. The pain of trying and failing lasts a few months. The pain of never trying lasts a lifetime. Now, as you get older, as your wealth grows, as you move from the accumulation phase to the preservation phase, you need to start thinking about protection. Which brings us to number 7. Number 7, bonds and fixed income. Bonds are boring. They don't have the sexy appeal of stocks or the thrill of crypto or the status of real estate. But they serve a critical purpose: stability. Bonds are essentially loans you give to governments or corporations, and they pay you interest over time. Government bonds are extremely safe. Corporate bonds pay a bit more but come with slightly more risk. Here's why bonds matter. As you accumulate wealth, you want to protect it. If you're 60 years old with $1 million saved for retirement, you can't afford to lose 50% of it in a market crash. You don't have time to recover. So you shift more of your portfolio into bonds for stability and capital preservation. Bonds don't give you the explosive growth of stocks, but they also don't crash 30% overnight. They provide steady, predictable income. Here's the rule of thumb: the younger you are, the more aggressive you should be with stocks. The older you get, the more you should shift to bonds for capital preservation. If you're 25, you might have 90% in stocks and 10% in bonds. You have 40 years until retirement. You can weather market crashes. You want growth. If you're 55, you might want 50% in stocks and 50% in bonds. You're close to retirement. You need stability. The goal is to protect what you've built while still generating reasonable returns. Bonds are the anchor that keeps your ship steady when the market storms hit. They're not going to make you rich, but they're going to keep you from getting poor. And as you age, that becomes increasingly important. Think of it as moving from offense to defense. When you're young, you play offense. You take risks. You swing for the fences. As you get older, you shift to defense. You protect your gains. You focus on not losing what you've built. And speaking of risks, speaking of aggressive plays, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The investment that everyone asks about but most people completely misunderstand. Number 8. Number 8, cryptocurrency. Bitcoin. Ethereum. The digital gold rush that's made some people millionaires and destroyed others. The asset class that financial advisors love to hate and tech bros love to worship. Here's my take, and I need you to listen carefully because this could save you from making a devastating mistake or help you capitalize on one of the biggest wealth transfers in history, depending on how you approach it. Crypto can be part of your portfolio, but only if you understand it, and only as a small allocation. 5 to 10% maximum. That's it. Not 50%. Not I'm all in on Bitcoin. 5 to 10%. Why? Because it's highly volatile. Bitcoin can drop 30% in a week. Altcoins can go to zero overnight. We've seen it happen. Luna crashed from $100 to basically zero in days. FTX, one of the biggest exchanges, collapsed. People lost billions. This is not your retirement fund. This is your high-risk, high-reward speculation bucket. If you believe in the long-term future of blockchain technology, if you understand how Bitcoin works as a decentralized store of value, if you've researched Ethereum's smart contract capabilities and the potential for decentralized finance, if you understand the use cases and the technology, then sure, allocate a small percentage here. Bitcoin has a fixed supply of 21 million coins. Governments can print unlimited dollars, but nobody can print more Bitcoin. That scarcity has value. Ethereum powers thousands of decentralized applications. There's real technology and real use cases here. But if you're just following hype, if you're buying because your cousin told you about some random coin that's going to moon, if you don't actually understand what you're investing in, then stay away. Crypto should never be your foundation. It should be your lottery ticket, the 5% that could potentially 10x but that you're also willing to lose completely without it affecting your life. Here's my approach: I own some Bitcoin and Ethereum. Not because I think I'm going to get rich quick, but because I believe in the long-term adoption of blockchain technology. But it's 5% of my portfolio. If it goes to zero tomorrow, my life doesn't change. If it 10x's, great, I made some extra money. That's the right mindset. Crypto should be something you can afford to lose. Now, let's put this all together. We've covered 8 investment strategies. Let's talk about how to actually build a portfolio that balances growth, safety, and opportunity. Here's a simple, smart portfolio allocation that you can adjust based on your situation. 50 to 60% in index funds. This is your foundation, your steady wealth builder. The boring, reliable workhorse that's going to carry you to retirement. 10 to 20% in self-development and business building. This is your future income and potential life-changing wealth. The skills you learn and the businesses you build could eclipse everything else. 10 to 15% in real estate or REITs. This is your cash flow and inflation hedge. This is what pays you while you sleep and protects your purchasing power. 5 to 10% in cash for emergencies. This is your peace of mind. This is what keeps you from making desperate decisions. 5 to 10% in speculative assets like crypto or startups. This is your asymmetric bet on the future. This is your moonshot. Adjust these numbers based on your age and risk tolerance, but this framework works. It's diversified. It's balanced. It protects you from catastrophic loss while giving you exposure to serious upside. This is how you build wealth that lasts. This is how you create financial security while still giving yourself a shot at financial freedom. But before we wrap up, before you go out and start investing, I need to warn you about the biggest mistakes that destroy people's financial futures. These are the landmines that blow up portfolios. Avoid these, and you're 90% of the way there. Mistake number 1: chasing quick money. Get rich quick always becomes get broke quick. Always. I don't care what the Instagram guru promised you. I don't care what the guy in the Lamborghini said. There are no shortcuts to real wealth. The people selling you shortcuts are making money off you, not with you. Real wealth is built slowly, consistently, over years and decades. It's compound interest. It's patience. It's discipline. If something sounds too good to be true, it is. Mistake number 2: investing in things you don't understand. If you can't explain it to a 10-year-old, don't invest in it. Warren Buffett has a rule: never invest in a business you don't understand. If someone's pitching you an investment and it sounds complicated, if they use a bunch of jargon and technical terms to confuse you, run. The best investments are simple. Index funds? Simple. Rental property? Simple. Dividend stocks? Simple. If it's complicated, it's probably designed to separate you from your money. Mistake number 3: putting all your money in one asset. This is how you go broke. I don't care how confident you are. I don't care how much research you've done. Never put all your eggs in one basket. Diversification is your shield against disaster. The market crashes? Your bonds protect you. Real estate collapses? Your stocks protect you. Your business fails? Your investments protect you. Spread your risk. Protect yourself from the unknown. Mistake number 4: emotional buying and selling. This is the biggest wealth destroyer of all. The market crashes 20%, and everyone panics and sells, locking in losses. Then the market recovers, and they buy back in at higher prices. They buy high, sell low, and wonder why they're losing money. The market rewards patience and punishes panic. Every single time. The best investors do nothing. They buy, they hold, they ignore the noise. They don't check their portfolio every day. They don't react to headlines. They stick to the plan. Here's the final truth, and this is what I need you to internalize deep in your soul. Smart investing is boring. It's not exciting. It's not glamorous. You're not going to have crazy stories to tell at parties about how you made $10,000 in a day. But it's profitable. It works. It's been working for hundreds of years, and it'll keep working for hundreds more. Consistency beats intelligence every time. Time beats timing every time. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need an economics degree. You don't need to predict the market. You just need to start, stay disciplined, and let compound interest work its magic over decades. Einstein called compound interest the 8th wonder of the world. Those who understand it, earn it. Those who don't, pay it. Which one are you going to be? 10 years from now, you'll either wish you had started today, or you'll be thanking yourself for taking action. The choice is yours. The information is right here. The roadmap is clear. All that's left is for you to decide who you're going to be. Are you going to be someone who learns and does nothing? Someone who watches this video, feels inspired for 5 minutes, and then goes back to scrolling social media and complaining about being broke? Or are you going to be someone who takes action and changes their entire bloodline's financial future? I can't make that choice for you. Only you can. But I can tell you this: the people who build wealth aren't special. They're not smarter than you. They don't have some secret knowledge. They just started. They took action. They stayed consistent. They made investing a priority instead of an afterthought. And now they're free while everyone else is still trapped. So what's it going to be? Are you going to take control of your financial future, or are you going to keep making excuses? The door is open. All you have to do is walk through it. Start today. Open that brokerage account. Set up that automatic investment. Buy that first index fund. Take that first step. Because a year from now, you'll wish you had started today. Don't let that be you. Take action. Build wealth. Change your life. You got this. Do well to subscribe to this channel for more of this financial intelligence.